Hi and welcome to my channel. I am coming today to bring you a few thrifty finds I got this past week on some antique mall trips, and we're going to share for Thrifty Thursday. Thrifty Thursday is brought to you by Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming, and Thrifted Treasures, which is brought to you by Dale at Not Too Shabby Chic. I will link both of their channels down below, and you can give them a watch if you don't already know them. They share wonderful thrifty finds and how to use them. And I love Thrifty Thursday because I am such a big fan of upcycling and recycling and not throwing things into the landfill. And I think some of the old vintage things can have just such wonderful new life breathed back into them. And rather than just tossing it away, you know, from a forgotten era, we can make it pretty again and still love it. So today I will show you a few things I got at a recent trip to the Mitchell Antique Mall in Mitchell, Indiana. It's not very far from where we live, and I like to pop in there. It's become one of my favorite haunts. They have just miles and miles of booths in there with just wonderful treasures. And I had never gone upstairs. Upstairs they have some clothing, and they said it was vintage clothing. It was more like from maybe the 80s, 90s maybe era, not like real vintage. So I wasn't finding anything there, but they did have a couple booths that had some really lovely vintage postcards. So I picked a few of these up. This one is from Versailles. It's not written on the back, but it's got that lovely patinaed paper, and I thought that was pretty. This one was cute. It had some writing on it from 1958. It says, "Hi, having a nice time touring the South. Have seen Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky." And she signs it Mrs. Moros, and it's addressed to Mrs. Varnhague. So they called each other Mrs. That's so sweet. And the picture is of the Clay Ferry Memorial Bridge on the Kentucky River. So that was fun. And these two are from Westminster Abbey. I thought they were just beautiful. Very vintage looking. And again, no writing on the back, but they have that lovely patina to the paper that I think is so pretty. Those will be nice to tuck in a junk journal for ephemera. And then, although these are not vintage, it's from a Bluebird Salvage and Design company. These were 75 cents, as were the postcards. They're just little note cards, and I thought that they would be really pretty to tuck in like a Happy Mail. This one was double-sided, which was interesting since you can't write on it. So I thought that might make a lovely little flip page in a journal, maybe a springtime journal or a botanical journal, something to do with florals and plants. So that was pretty. And then just this pretty one of a lady. I just thought it was pretty. Looks like she's looking out and just enjoying the sunny, beautiful day. So that was that. This is kind of a short haul, but I thought worth sharing. Then in that same antique mall upstairs where the clothing was, I found these patterns too, and I thought these were so sweet. This was a girl's size 7 pattern, and these were 50 cents back in the day. It'd be so fun to know a date. I mean, you can kind of tell by the styles, but it'd be fun to have them printed on there. But these were $1, and what I thought was really nice is I found patterns from a child all the way up to ladies. So that was a unique find. I haven't found that before. So that was a child size 7. This is a child size 2. Look at how sweet. Looks like little jammy robes. I haven't opened that one up yet. These look really fragile, so I've kind of kept them under cover till I'm ready to use them. And then this was a teen size. Look at how they wore the pretty jumpers and the little pattern tights. That's so sweet. And they all have the papers still in them. And the instructions too, which I thought was really nice. Oops, I don't want to tear. But look how fun that is. That'll make a beautiful addition to a journal. Pretty sewing journal. And that was all intact. I thought that was really nice. And then it looks like the patterns have been cut but not used. So that was fun. And then we jump up to a junior size. Look at the sweet little Empire waistline on there. The little ruffly trumpet sleeves. Those are so cute. I love that. And then we have one in a Miss size 12. That's so pretty. And the papers look a little more fragile than the other ones. So I haven't really taken them out. When you touch them, they kind of want to crumble. So I've kind of left that in there. And then we've got another Miss size 12. And this one was really fragile. That one must have been well loved. And then the last one, we have a Miss size 18. And I was kind of giggling. If that's a size 18, I don't even know what size I actually am, because they look very trim and fit. But I thought that was really, really pretty. There again, such nice patina to the paper. They've been cut, and this one is very fragile too. It wants to flake away when you touch it. So that was the patterns, and all of those I got for $1 a piece. I thought that was a great price on those. And then next I found some linens. I'm kind of obsessed with the vintage linens at the moment, so I gravitate towards those. This was a set of beautiful napkins, linen napkins, and it was a set of 4. And they all looked like really clean and nice. I have not laundered these yet, so they will go right in the laundry after we do the video. I never use anything that I haven't laundered first. This one had a bit of yellowing on it, but that can easily be collaged over with some lace or some fabric. And I thought, how cute would that be for a little, like a little envelope. You can stitch it and make it into a little envelope. Line it with something pretty, maybe edge it with some lace. Put something cute inside. So those are perfect for that sort of thing. So that was one set. And then the next set was only 2. But I thought they were so lovely with the embroidery and this beautiful linen. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I'm thinking it might be like the Irish linen. It's just so gorgeous. But that's a nice big one. That one could even be made into a pretty clutch of some sort. I thought that was gorgeous. And there were 2 of those, and they were both in really, really nice condition. So that is that, and I think those were $2 a set as well as the other ones. And then lastly, I have been on the deep dive on Pinterest looking for vintage ideas for different projects and things, and I saw some sweet things with vintage gloves. And I have a few sets of my grandmother's vintage gloves, and I haven't brought myself to do anything with them yet. I think I'll do a special, maybe a shadow box with a pair or something for a keepsake for my family, but I didn't want to really glue on them and cut them up and different things. So I was so fortunate to find a whole lot at one booth of vintage gloves, and they were half price. So these were all marked $10, and the price was $5 on some of them. Well, I think this pair was marked $5 and it was $2.50, and all the rest were marked $5 or $10 and they were $5. So this one was $2.50 at the checkout, and then the other ones ended up being $5 at the checkout. But this was so sweet. This reminded me of my grandma. She had a pair exactly like this in a pale baby blue, and that is one of the sets that I have aside for a keepsake. So I thought that would be so cute to do something with. And then these are so sweet with the little tiny buttons. How adorable. Look at how feminine and sweet those are. Such a pretty color. They have, you can see a little spots where they were worn, where it's not quite as smooth. There's a little pilling on the fabric, but not bad for the age. And no spots or anything, so I thought that was a lovely find. I just love this little design. It's so sweet. And then I found these. And these were so fun. Look at the style on this with the scallop, kind of scallop top there with the pretty lines on them. These are so soft too. This one I don't know what to do with these yet. I have to think on that a little while, but they're just so beautiful. I just love that scalloped trim on the top, scalloped edge. So that was another one. And then this one. This had a pretty mother of pearl button on them. Pretty little button. So when they were worn, they show that. How cute is that? I do love a good button detail, so I thought those were so sweet as well. And again, in very lovely condition. Look at how white and there's just a little spot. Nope, that just came right off. There's just a little pilling right there. But other than that, they are in beautiful condition. So that's a sweet little pair. And then the last pair was this. And this one had some wear. This one was worn through at the thumb and a lot of pilling along the fingers. But there again, it was plain. I like the little detail up here on the top. And I thought I would show you what I made out of this. We always talk about what we find, but we don't always talk about what we make. So I thought I'd share, which I did a video on this about a week or so ago. And it is on my YouTube. This was for a lace and bling challenge that I was tagged in. And I took this little glove and I collaged all the pretty appliques and the lace. And I added little Swarovski crystals to it. Some little netting that had pearls. A little piece of vintage bracelet. And then a little bow with the pearl dangle. And then I put a ring on there. I had my husband cut the band off of the ring and I put that on there. Brought the lace all the way down the finger with the little Swarovski crystals. And then inside are tucked vintage clothespins that I embellished and I wrapped vintage lace around. So it's a little lace holder. And I hang it like that from the pretty cording. And I have a hook in my craft room. It's like a coat rack hook, and I hang a lot of just yards of lace on there so I can grab and go when I'm crafting. And I have it hung up right there, and it's right my mannequin that has my pearls and my Battenberg collars and things on it stands right next to it. So it's all frilly and girly and pretty right there. So that is what I made for the first project with these beautiful vintage clothes. So that is my share this week. It was brief, but I just love every single thing that I found. I can't wait to start crafting with the patterns and the gloves and the linens and share at some point what has become of everything. So I thank you so much for joining me, as always. I thank you to my new subscribers. My channel's really new and I'm growing little by little, so I appreciate each new subscriber, each like, each comment. It means so much to me, and I hope that you enjoy what's being posted and will follow along on my crafty journey. And I thank you again for joining me, and I hope you all have a really, really blessed week. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.